Hey everybody, welcome back to another great video update from one of our vendor sponsors, and that sponsor today is ComTec. Now, these are some of my favorite kinds of video updates that we do every month because it's a testimonial from another partner about ComTec. And these are great because it really gives the MSPs in the group an opportunity to see what it means to partner with these different vendors. So today I have Matt Haaz from the Logic Group. Hey Matt, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great. So I guess to kick us off, just give me a quick rundown of who you are and what the Logic Group does.
Absolutely. So I'm head of sales and business development for the Logic Group. I've been with the company for 10 years. Logic Group is not new to the industry. We've been around since 1996, so we're well established in the community. We pride ourselves on having long-term lasting relationships with our clients. There are some MSPs out there that they are kind of a churn and burn. They like to go through and have a heavy sales presence. We focus more on the relationships with our clients and the relationships with our vendors. And that's one of the reasons why ComTec is such a great fit for us, because they run their business in a very similar way that we do with the client focus.
Yeah, having been an MSP myself for many years, it really does come down to relationships, your relationships with your clients and your relationships with your vendors, and both pay off really, really high dividends when you are very purposeful about maintaining those relationships over the years.
Exactly. Yeah, the difference is when you're working with a client, with a vendor like us or a vendor like ComTec that stands behind their work. And let's face it, we're all in the MSP industry. We all know that every day isn't butterflies and sunshine. Things happen, and at times the stuff hits the fan, right? When you're in the trenches, the people who have your back, the people who at the end of the day are going to do whatever it takes to make your client happy and to get the product that they promised delivered. That's all you can ask.
Yeah.
So when you meet somebody in the industry that does that, you hold on to them and you solidify that relationship, because those are the people that you want in the bunker with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So how did the Logic Group kind of get involved with ComTec?
I had a very interesting transition into the sales world. I was doing help desk for the Logic Group. I started off at the bottom of the company and worked my way up. I was doing every job that you could possibly think of within the walls of the building. And one day the owner of the company came to me and he said, "Hey, I'm thinking about transitioning you again into a sales role." And I said, if I'm a square peg in a round hole, just tell me, because I feel like you're bouncing me all over. And he said, no. I want you to take over sales from me, because that's what I originally hired you for. And I said, well, I don't have a sales background, so I want you to set me up for success. I need a mentor who's going to take really good care of me and make sure that I have all the tools that I need to be able to be successful at this job. So he brought in a mentor for me, who had a personal relationship with one of the higher ups over at ComTec. And we just started going out to lunch. He thought I was good people. He was good people. He liked introducing good people to each other, and thought that there could be some synergy there. We had been providing clients with our own phone systems. We'd been an Avaya reseller for many years, and we had clients that were happy with Avaya, but we also saw the direction that Avaya was going in, and we knew we needed to be more Teams integrated, and be more on the forefront of the change of technology and not reacting to it after it happened. And ComTec was already there. So it was really perfect timing. They had a product that we knew that our customers were looking for, and we didn't have much experience with that product. We like to always keep our core focus on what we do and what we do really well. We know what we do well. We know what we don't do well. And we like to bring partners in who are the best in the industry at doing what they do. You can see behind me, we do really nice cabling. So we know that we're great at that. So we try not to outsource our cabling. But with phones, we know that there's better people in the room, but there's not better people than ComTec. So it just makes it easy.
Well, and this is what I hear about ComTec all the time. The testimonials that I've done previously, talk about how ComTec really is a solution for the MSP where they take ownership of all of the things when it comes to the telecommunications side, whether it be the integration with Teams or providing the physical phones or even rolling a truck and having somebody go on site. So what are some of those other things that ComTec does that separates itself from just another voice over IP provider?
Yeah, so they do a lot of things that other providers do. They help us with our circuit turnups. They help us with, they can do their white glove service and they can deliver phones. If we want, we can actually deliver the phones for them. So they have the ability to either be full service or partial service. They work with the MSP to see where they want things. They stay in their lane really well. When there's gray area, they contact me and they say, hey, we feel like the customer could really benefit from this product, but we just want to make sure before we pitch it to them that we're not going to be stepping on your shoes. We want to stay in our lane. So they're great with that. We did a giant project with them down in Georgia with a medical practice that was a total mess when it got brought to us. Very disorganized. They needed phones. They had close to 100 different phone lines. Nobody knew anything that was going on. ComTec and their team sorted through everything, got all the vendors talking to each other, really took the time to dive deep and figure out what their pain points were on the phone system, what they needed their phone system to do. They were struggling like a lot of other people with long wait times and high call queues and just frustrated customers. And they really turned that ship around. They gave them a brand new state-of-the-art phone system and saved them tens of thousands of dollars a month in their phone bills because they had been with a phone vendor that was really taking advantage of them and they were comfortable. And when people are comfortable and business is busy, you don't take a step back and look at, the devil's in the details, right?
Right.
So once we looked at all that, we saw what a gross savings it would be to get a much better phone system. And they were just able to deliver.
So I guess the way that I would look at it is that they're not just providing voice or providing telephones or, configuring an integration. They're actually looking at the client's needs and saying, okay, this is the solution that we would provide. And then while they're providing that solution, if something comes up and they see it, they're actually going another step farther and pulling you in and saying, hey, we think it would be improved even further if we did X, Y, or Z, and making sure that they're talking to you and not the client directly so that if it's something, say, a networking thing where they think it can be fixed, they're bringing it to you to solve the networking problem rather than fix it themselves.
That is exactly it. They do not care about the dollars. They care about the relationship. So there are a lot of other providers out there that will just cram a solution down somebody's throat because that's what makes them the most amount of money. That is not ComTec by any stretch of the imagination. They really care about the product that they're delivering, and they want to provide the best product that they can so that the customer is going to have the best experience possible and feel good about the purchase that they made and feel like somebody really took the time to hear and understand their problem and deliver a solution for it.
Now, I know from previous experience that trying to sell voice over IP to clients has a lot of intricacies that a lot of MSPs probably don't want to deal with. Have you found it to be that same way? And what's kind of I don't know how to explain it, the satisfaction or the just stress off of the Logic Group by being able to hand all of this off to a trusted vendor to do this?
Yeah, being in sales, time is money, and time is limited. When I go on to, before ComTec came along and somebody would come to me and say that they needed a solution, the thing that I would hate is when they said, hey, we have this like old doorbell buzzer that we use to bring people in. It calls our phones, and then we push a button and it lets the person in. And now I have to figure out like how to integrate this old analog system into a new digital system. And I have to start researching all these products that I know nothing about, and hoping and stressing that the solution that I'm going to provide is going to live up to whatever the company told me that it would live up to. And you're just trusting them on their word. Meanwhile, it's your reputation on the line. I don't have to worry about any of that anymore. I just say to ComTec, hey, they have a buzzer at the front door. They have a buzzer at the back door. They need to make sure that it works when the phone system's installed. And they say, no problem, we got it. There are, different faxing solutions that they have. There's just so many different things that are involved with phone systems that you don't think about. The way that the alarm system integrates with the phone, the way that the door locking system integrates with the phone system, what happens after hours, how do you put, return call, when an agent frees up, all these little things that are great little feature add-ons that I don't have to think about. I don't have to worry about. I just make the introduction to ComTec. I show up on a few calls to make sure that everything's going right. I contact the customer after the call. I say, hey, now that they're not on the line, do you have any concerns, any questions, any feedback? They know that I'm on their side and going through everything with them step by step. But, ComTec just makes it so easy for me to do that. And I can have a great relationship with ComTec. I can preserve my relationship with the client. I don't have to choose sides. And, anything that makes us as the Logic Group and me as the salesperson look better to our client. And when you bring somebody that's knowledgeable in, that's going to take good care of your client, it just looks great for you and your team.
That's awesome. And one of the things that you mentioned there, I kind of want to highlight, because so many voice over IP and all these UCaaS providers and things, they're all moving forward with new technologies and all of that kind of stuff. ComTec is one of the few that I've heard of that really does understand, because of their history of legacy telecommunications. They understand those legacy pieces like alarm systems, door entry, elevator phones, the emergency phone out by the swimming pool. That's one that I had to deal with when I was still an MSP. And they're also one of those things that if you are being vetted by a potential client and you say, I can't handle that, or I don't know how to handle that, you can lose the deal, lose the contract. And so having a partner like ComTec allows you to be able to say yes to so many more opportunities than if you don't have somebody like that in your back pocket to leverage.
Very true, Eric. Very true.
Awesome. Well, Matt, thank you very much for joining me today. Thank you for your insights on ComTec, and I hope you have a great week.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate you taking the time.